Season 9 is finally here, and we've had so many leaks and so many in-game events toward the end of Season 8. So, Season 9 was highly anticipated. Let's jump right into the brand new patch notes that came with the first update of Season 9. So, you guys will see when you guys jump in, and I will make a video about this later, but the various map changes, with the biggest ones including Tilted Towers and Retail Row. Now, they are brand new locations that look very modern, futuristic. They have these slipstreams, is what they call them. Basically, the slipstreams get around locations quickly with the new slipstream wind transportation system. So basically, they're rings of air almost. And if you hop into the rings, you'll go ahead and fly to the next one and kind of act as a loop, if you will. Now, moving on here, definitely check out the new places, the new locations. So explore new points of interest that emerged from the destruction of the volcano, like Neo Tilted and Mega Mall. So obviously Mega Mall taking over Retail Row, and Neo Tilted taking over Tilted Towers. Moving on, when we talk about the weapons, there's a ton of various changes, additions, and vaultings that we have to go over. So let's jump right in. There's a brand new combat shotgun that, yes, is here to unfortunately replace the pump shotguns. So we'll get a little bit more into that just in a second. But basically, going over the combat shotgun, basically it's a semi-automatic shotgun. It holds 10 shells, fires 9 pellets per shell, and with the damage rate of 73, 77, and 81, and it can be found in rare, epic, and legendary variants, and it reloads 2 shells at a time, headshot multiplier of 1.7, tight spread, and fast fire rate. So very cool. We'll kind of see how that works in terms of replacing the pump shotgun, although it is a rare, epic, and legendary variant, but still, either way, it's a great way to kind of vault the pump shotguns and bring the legendary variants to the game in a new fashion for Season 9. So, moving on, they went ahead and they adjusted the tactical shotgun damage, base damage increase from 66, 70, and 74 to 71, 75, and 79. So everyone gets a little bump up there by 5 damage, depending on the rarity. Now, they reduced the drum gun availability from 16.7% to 7.1%. They reduced the boom bow availability from 1.2% to 0.75%. So big decrease there. Now here is the interesting part, guys. They unvaulted the grenades, which means that they vaulted the clingers. We haven't seen both grenades in the game in a long time. Moving on, they vaulted the buried treasure. So that kind of is interesting because that was a huge thing for Season 8 that we saw come out. So we'll see how that kind of impacts Season 9. They vaulted the pump shotgun, which I know, guys, literally the update has been out for less than 2 hours already, and everyone is in uproar about this. Everyone's freaking out about the pump shotgun being gone. I think that it should be very interesting to see how the new quote-unquote meta works without the pump shotgun. Epic did say that 29% of all eliminations in Season 8 were from pump shotguns. So if you remove 28%, that's a large number. So now I'm very excited to see how the community kind of adapts to that. Now, moving on. They vaulted the poison dart trap. Thank you so much, Epic. There were so many glitches with that. So glad to see that gone for right now. Vaulted the scoped revolver. Okay. They vaulted the suppressed assault rifle, thankfully, because the damage on that gun is awful. It was garbage. Vaulted the thermal assault rifle, no one used it anyway, and they vaulted the balloons, which was never a favorite of mine personally, but I know a lot of people liked the balloons to kind of get from point A to point B a little bit faster. Now, moving on to bug fixes and improvements, we basically have a lot of buffs and kind of overall stability improvements to turbo building after gliding that works correctly. Stink bomb damage audio effects were kind of fine-tuned. They fixed the shadow bomb, occasionally not making the player invisible on the Xbox the first time it was used. Then they went ahead and changed the misplacement of launch pads in mid-air have been resolved. The pirate cannon camera issue due to network latency has been resolved. The reboot card deposit sounds and effects have also been a little bit more changed when the van is in cooldown in replay mode and whatnot, especially if your squad mate deconnects while you're trying to revive him as well. So gameplay, the new slipstreams, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, guys, these tunnels of wind passively carry players down the stream. Players can now move faster and change direction when they actively try to move down the stream. Use directional input to gain extra velocity. Experiment with bobbing up and down for higher speeds. Players are launched when exiting the tube based on their movement speed and exit angle, and projectile and vehicles can also enter the slipstream. Now, in the trailer for Season 9, we saw a bunch of these air vents on top of buildings and whatnot, which basically they're powerful gusts of air from these environmental items that can launch players short distances and grant immunity to fall damage. So now a bunch of leak people and leak artists on Twitter found this thing called Fortnite. Now this is a little bit confusing, and I'll probably make a video about this later, but basically all we have right now is that Fortnite are a series of 100 collectible computer chips available to Battle Pass owners. As you collect Fortnite, you'll decrypt a mysterious image, collect them all to unlock rewards, and uncover the secrets of Season 9. Now, on the first day of Season 9, there are 18 Fortnites available to find. At least one new Fortnite will be unlocked each day. Check the Challenges tab for detailed information on which Fortnite are currently available and when the others unlock. Now, Fortnites cannot be collected after Season 9 ends. So obviously Fortnite has to do with the story of Season 9 in terms of how that's going to transition into Season 10. So I'm very excited to see how that kind of portrays and kind of foreshadows Season 10 as we get a little bit closer toward the end of this brand new Season 9. Now, moving on, disconnected players will stay in the world for 60 seconds. They will still take damage and count for elimination points when killed. Now, bug fixes and improvements result in issue with the UI showing health gains incorrectly if the player canceled the consumable close to the completion time. PS4 controller lighting not always matching your pin color when in squads. Players not able to hold to swap if they previously picked an item up normally. Adjusted turbo building to be more forgiving under poor network conditions, and they fixed cases of jittery movements under certain conditions. Moving on, the LTMs of this brand new update: Trios, classic battle royale with 3-person squads. I do not know why this is an LTM and not just a straight up game mode, but alright, I'll take it. Solid gold, we've seen this one before, fight to the finish using legendary weapons. One shot, low gravity, every player has 50 health, sniper weapons are the only weapon, bandages are the only healing item, jump high and aim well. As per usual in every single update, the arena modes kind of got a little change and a little addition as they try to fine-tune that arena tab. Basically, players that have already qualified to be in the World Cup will be marked with a World Cup badge on the event leaderboards. Moving on, performance: improved frame rate on Nintendo Switch, particularly when large numbers of characters are on screen. Addressed some cases of invisible characters after skydiving. Some audio updates here with better tactical audio when inside player-built structures, so now enemy pickaxe impact hits are a lot louder and a lot more accurate in terms of where the sound comes from. And the wall break by an enemy close by / behind a player much clearer and louder. So again, more accurate sounds. They went ahead and fine-tuned the explosive sounds, so now it's a lot shorter and higher dynamic range of sound as well, to help kind of the accuracy of where an explosion might come from. Moving on, bug fixes and improvements with the UI. Swap text appearing in the pickup UI will no longer appear when picking up more resources than the player can carry. The initial storm warning timer was incorrectly showing as 0. Spectators and replay watchers can now report users, and the fixed party invites not showing up in the UI if a user logged out and backed in again. Spectating a player's match will now automatically follow that player. Now, a bunch of mobile updates here. Now, this one's a little bit more interesting. So if you have auto fire on, it will now trigger on vehicles. If you added the option for increasing elimination feed line count in the HUD layout tool, now the dragging and dropping from the quick bar is now allowed while jumping. So That's awesome, adding a little bit more mobility options to that. The location of the boost button on Android for the X Stormwing has been moved to avoid the triggering the home button. Squad formation is now accessible on mobile. So we saw that come out last week with the update, allowing for these 50v50 game modes or the large team modes to have a large sum of people waiting in the lobby. Moving on, bug fixes and delays with mobile. So the delay while interacting while using the quick bar slots have been resolved. Weapon icon now correctly display icons on the quick bar. Fixed sliders that were broken in the dead zone tab of the controller option. Auto fire adjustments, so the semi-automatic weapon now fire correctly. Increased acquisition delay for shotguns, and the dynamite trajectory indicators now correctly displayed during use. And there's a whole bunch of other not too important mobile updates in terms of the general and bug fixes and improvements. But again, guys, as usual, I will leave all the patch notes down below. Let's move on to just the general overall reworking default button layout to be consistent across all vehicles. So maybe we're going to get a new vehicle this time around, because right now we only have the baller and the drift board available as far as Season 9 Day 1 comes out. Again, later on in Season 9, I am fully expecting some more vehicles to either be reintroduced or introduced completely. We see a return of the ATVs or the ATKs. We'll see. Moving on, the UI subscreen select has been refreshed. A bunch of bug fixes and improvements with just the general UI overall as well, with players now appearing correctly as a hologram when joining a player currently in the match. And they reworded a whole bunch of stuff on the menus too. You guys will see that all throughout the different tabs and whatnot. But let's see, players now remain in the party voice channel by default when entering a match. And they added a setting for the display of voice chat indicators, thankfully, because in the bottom left it was kind of annoying. Anyway, so then with the brand new squad formation option, there's a bunch of different sit out / jump in buttons and a lot of more stability when it comes to that. So the rest is going to be creative and save the world. As usual, I'm going to leave a link to all the patch notes down below in the description. Highly recommend you guys check that out, because we have a lot of stuff that was introduced with Day 1 of Season 9. Now, guys, top box is that previous video like always, guys, as usual, and the bottom box is that mystery video like always. I will be coming out with a brand new map video and a brand new series video later today, so I am super pumped to bring that to you guys. I am so pumped for Season 9. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of Season 9. Are you guys for it? Are you guys against it? Are you guys waiting to see how it works out and how it kind of plays out? Let me know. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a great day.